Welcome back. We are so stoked to be here. Stoked to have you again, my man, Donny. What's happening?
Make some noise. We're here. Let's go. Thanks for having me.
I'm stoked, man. I'm super stoked. I want to start today and talk about video marketing. That's what you do.
That is
where you it's not what you do, it's where you came from. And where you really started in this space, right? And now you've grown it to be something that's totally crazy, multi-million-dollar business, and I'm just freaking amazed by it. So when we're talking about video marketing, I want to know what are the basics? What do we need to do in order to thrive in video marketing?
That's a great question. First off, I appreciate the kind words. That's probably the best thing you've ever said about me, to me.
I think you say that every episode.
I said it on one other episode, but I'm going to say it again, guys. So, in terms of video marketing, yes, if you guys are not familiar with my story, I've been doing video for 12 years, photo for 5, and digital marketing for 3. And those 3 cohesively come together to be just one full house production for digital marketing. So, from front to back, from funnels to photos to videos, I can handle it all. And that's where my expertise has grown into. And when it comes to video marketing, after 12 years of experience, I've dug everything down and compounded it into 7 tips that I'm going to share with your audience today.
Okay. So what's tip number 1 then?
Tip number 1, especially in today's times where everybody's already used to seeing the hyped up Instagram models and you see the influencers promoting people's products and services, you have to stand out in a different way. And one great way to do that, especially if you do not have an audience, is display your expertise.
How so?
If you can't display your expertise, you can do another way and you can entertain people. So Tip number 1 in terms of how to improve your video marketing is make your videos either entertaining or educational.
Okay, so when we talk about entertaining or educational, what type of content would I be putting out if I'm being entertaining?
If you are looking to entertain, the number 1 question is drive everything back to your audience. So the first question you have to ask yourself is, what is my audience looking to experience, or more specifically, scroll across on their feed? And so the best way to do that, especially thinking about professionally, is how can you relate entertainment to your audience in a way that is relevant to what they're looking to find on your page.
So we talked about I talked to this about with Ryan on another episode, and he said know your niche.
Exactly.
And I think these things go really, really hand in hand here, because I think you need to know your niche in order to know what your people want to see, your audience wants to see, right? What type of educational content?
Yeah.
So that's what you're saying. We already know as long as we know our audience, we'll be able to hit the right educational content.
Exactly. I would argue that what Ryan has said on a previous podcast of yours is equally as important as knowing your product or service. You should know your niche as well as you know your product.
Yeah.
And when you can do that, you'll be able to resonate with your audience that much deeper. For sure.
That totally makes sense. So when we're making that educational content, obviously it's directed to the audience that you already know, rather than just basically putting out educational content about coffee, and then the next day educational content about a computer, and the next day educational content about Skittles.
Exactly.
Right? You have to have a laser-eyed focus on the content that you're putting out. It can't just be random content.
Or at bare minimum, at least bowling lanes that you can stay in. You know what I'm saying?
100%. At least have the training, the what are those called?
The I don't know, parameters.
Yeah, exactly. So it's either educational or entertainment. Now that's tip number 1, right?
Right.
What's tip number 2?
Tip number 2 would have to be, and again, in today's day and age, you know, you have to know what's working and what's not. And if you're watching this right now, I'm sure you could relate to this. I'm going to ask you this question. How many videos per day do you think you watch without sound?
Videos per day that I think I watch without sound. Actually, a lot of them. A lot of videos I watch with sound, and then sometimes I'll be scrolling when I'm in like earlier, I was at the dentist, and I was scrolling in the lobby, but I didn't want to put my headphones in, and I didn't want to put volume up because that's
you don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, exactly. So I watched them. I just scrolled and I was watching it, and I was watching the subtitle, reading the subtitles as I'm watching the videos.
Yep. And so there's tip number 2: is make sure that your videos are optimized to be watched without sound. And the best way to do that is something that you just explained. Optimize your videos to have subtitles on them for those educational content, even for that entertainment content, just so people can follow along on whatever it is you're relaying to them. Make sure you're optimizing those videos to be watched without sound. That's tip number 2.
That, dude. Because there's so many videos that I do scroll on that don't have subtitles or don't have any, and I'm just like, next.
Yep.
But when it has subtitles, it also makes me stay there, and sometimes I miss something, so then I watch it again.
Yep.
Just adding view count, right?
I'd say it attracts people to the video because you almost want to stop. Like it has to do with that attention factor in those first 5 to 7 seconds for sure.
100%. That makes sense. So we got make educational and entertaining content, optimize videos with no sound. What's number 3 then?
Again, playing along with the trends right now. One really hot trend in video marketing, guys, is looping. And
what does that mean?
This is in terms of 1 to 10, 10 being like complex and a little bit harder to do. I'd give this a little 6 or a 7 right there. And it's just finding a way to make the end of your video loop into the front of your video.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
Seen those?
Yeah. Where it just looks like it just started over. It started again, but then it's like at the same time. Yeah.
Yep. And so, pro tip, the way people do this is whatever you know is going to be your opening hook, relay that in the same message with your ending statement that you know you're going to end your video with. So it could be, if you're, for example, doing an educational type of content, let's say you know you're going to start with, so do you want to know what the top 7 tips are to sell your home? You can start the video and cut it right before that, but before you say that, leave a little bit of space. So now you know, well, now you know the next time you have the question about what the next, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, so you started with something like, the 7 tips of selling your home. 7 tips of selling your home, and then at the end it's, do you want to know 7 tips of selling your
kind of making like a segue from the end to the front.
Yes, people keep doing that, and I freaking love them. And then I watch it again because I think it's continuing the video. So
and that boosts your plays, exactly.
That's
algorithm hacks.
Yeah. Okay. So now, so what was that? 1, 2, 3, 4. What's number 4?
Tip number 4. We are going with make sure you know your ICAs.
ICAs. What's an ICA?
Ideal customer avatars.
Okay.
And that's coming down to demographics, age, gender, location, psychographics, how they think, the type of problems they're facing, the type of miracles they're looking for, the type of miseries that they are experiencing professionally. However you can relate to those types of messages for your ICAs, that's what you want to play into.
Know your audience, know your products, know your niche, all the same stuff, all put together. We got to know who we're directing our stuff to.
Boom. Mic drop. That's number 4.
All right, number 5.
Number 5.
We're running through these. This is, you listen to this, you're going to have to listen to this 10 times to get all this content out.
And we're going to have to put a loop at the end so it starts again.
Number 5, what is it?
Tip number 5, videos elevate your brand image. So do not sleep. They say that a picture's worth 1,000 words. Well, how much do you think a video's worth?
A lot of words.
1 billion.
There you go. So say that again. What's the tip?
Videos elevate your brand image.
Okay.
So if you are the type of person who just posts photos or are on the fence about posting a video, just know that if you post a video, even if it's not perfect, you're taking a step in the right direction.
Yep.
And that's one of the biggest tips that I can give to anybody in terms of any expertise, in terms of any industry. Just get your foot in the door. Just get started and get on video.
Dude, I was talking to somebody earlier, and I kid you not, this is the conversation. I was sitting at a actually Lido House in Newport Beach, and he asked me, he was like, "So, why do you think you're so successful?" And I looked at him, I was like, "This is like, what do you mean, bro?" Like, and we kind of got through this conversation, and I told him, like, "Hey, look, I think there's 3 steps to accomplish anything. It's visualize, it's map it out, and it's execute." And we talked about that, and then we got to the topic of failure. And I told him I don't believe failure's real. I said, because as long as we're taking a step forward, there's progress. So no matter what, as long as we continue moving forward, then we're winning. So in this sense, what you're talking about is, even if the video is not the best video, it's still a step in the right direction, so we're winning.
That's the video version of what you just said.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Freaking love it. All right, so now we're on number 6. What's number 6?
Tip number 6 happens to be focus on your customers' problems, not yours.
Okay, so what does that mean?
That means, again, as I kind of brushed on the surface in one of the earlier tips, number 4, make sure you know your customers. Focus on your customers' problems. So know your niche as well as you know your product. And most importantly, know how to resonate with them in a sense that they know that you're the solution to the problems that they're facing. Make sure that you know, as well as they know, their miseries. So know the problems they're experiencing, know the challenges, and know how to fix them for them.
Our job is to make their lives easier, not the other way around.
100%. And if you can put that on video, that's a mic drop, and it's going to draw a lot of attention to your brand.
Love it. Number 7.
Now, tip number 7 is, again, don't wait to get started. Start with what you got. Tip number 7 happens to be use whatever equipment you have in front of you. You don't need a $5 million piece of equipment to get started. You don't need a $3,000 camera. All you need is an iPhone, a mission, and the will to succeed and get started.
Freaking love it. You don't even really need an iPhone.
You don't.
But
you can use a GoPro or
whatever it is.
Yeah.
Use it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just don't want to hear, I don't want to get messages back saying, "Oh, well, I don't have an iPhone yet."
Right.
I want to, hey, you have something that records you in video, use it.
Right. Exactly.
Freaking love it. Okay, so our 7 tips recap is make entertainment and educational content. Make sure you optimize viewers to watch your video with
no sound.
No sound. Looping, I freaking love that, is an ongoing trend, and it's working. Make sure you know your customers. Videos elevate your brand image. Focus on your customers' problems, not your own. Our job is to make their lives easier, not the other way around. And use whatever equipment you have.
Boom, mic drop.
No excuses. Go out there. Use video marketing. Let's get it done.
Do it. Listen to this guy.
I appreciate you, Donny. You're amazing. Thank you so much. Where do they find you?
You guys can find me online on Instagram at Donny Doquisa, at Donny.Doquisa. And you can find my marketing agency at the HotPot Agency or thehotpotagency.com. Looking forward to talking to you guys soon.
Crushed it, man.